Wick Chapter 4 is the fourth entry in the John Wick action franchise, and as you guys already know, John Wick Chapter 4 came out last month, and as you know, I'm trying to get caught up on a lot of these movies that I missed out reviewing. I'm gonna try to say in a new way, a different way, how awesome John Wick is, but I feel like you're gonna hear a lot of the same shit because a lot of us feel the same about this movie. It's been over a month, or almost a month. I feel like most people have seen the movie or, you know, don't care about spoilers at this point. Just in case you don't want to be spoiled on anything, mild spoiler for something I want to talk about later on in the video. Keanu Reeves is back reprising his role as the legendary assassin John Wick, and then you've got a really talented cast of people: Shamir Anderson, Donnie Yen, Bill Skarsgård, Rika Sawayama, I think is her name. You've also got Hiroyuki Sanada, of course Ian McShane and Lance Reddick, and unfortunately one of his final roles before he unfortunately passed away, I think over the opening weekend of John Wick Chapter 4. We're gonna skip past the synopsis because there's really no point in me laying out the story for a movie that's been out for almost a month. A lot of blood, a lot of bullets, a lot of gun fu, a lot of choreography, you know, broken bones and great stunts and just amazing shit all around. I was pretty excited for John Wick Chapter 4. Most of you guys know I'm a big John Wick fan. I'm a big action movie fan in general. And at times when you're watching action movies throughout the years, there comes along a film that feels like one of those landmark type of films. You know what I'm talking about? It's like one of those action movies that feels like it's one of the pillars of the action film community, where it's one of those movies that's gonna be talked about and it's gonna have other movies compared to it over time. Other movies are gonna emulate it, try to copy it, try to adapt to the style that this movie was putting out. So when I tell you that John Wick Chapter 4 feels like it was made in the vein of a Mad Max Fury Road or The Matrix or Die Hard, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, the Raid movies, when I say that, you understand the level of action filmmaking that I'm talking about here. The action sequences in this movie, I mean, mind-blowing doesn't really do it justice. There's really not enough words in the English language to convey how amazing and incredible the action sequences in this film are. I definitely don't have the words, don't have the justice for it. So here is a series of reactions that I had upon leaving the theater and upon thinking about the movie the very next day.
I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details. Oh, boy! Yeah!
If I could think of some words for the stunt work and the action choreography in this movie, I mean, immaculate, majestic, beautiful, orgasmic, epic, grandiose, sensational, erection-inducing, tear-worthy, Oscar-worthy. I mean, I don't know. I'm starting to make shit up at this point, but you get the drift. Stunt work in this movie is example 1,000,001 about why the Oscars and the other awards around that season need to be recognizing stunt work as one of its categories. There are stunts in this movie that I don't know how they pulled off. There are sequences and choreography that had my jaw on the floor, that had my eyes literally watering. Beautiful, gorgeous wide takes with minimal cuts where you can see everything happening. Incredible shot angles and composition. There is one sequence later on in this film that's like an overhead shot. It reminded me of several video games that I have played. Also, the cinematography for this movie is absolute eggs on a tit. It is beautiful, immaculate, gorgeous cinematography. The best looking John Wick movie, easily. Beyond the action, which I could spend pretty much the entire video talking about, I do want to single out the performances in this movie. I feel like everybody is doing a great job. Keanu is Keanu at this point.
That's why he's everything! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
He could play this role in his sleep if he wanted to, and honestly, I feel like this movie, from a story standpoint, probably has the most emotional resonance in it that we've seen since the first movie. I mean, I feel like as a story, it really does a lot of its characters like John justice. It also does characters like Donnie Yen, his character in this movie, it does him justice. All of the side characters in this movie are actually really awesome, and you walk out of this movie feeling like I want to see like several spin-offs featuring several of these characters. Now you walk out of John Wick Parabellum and you go, damn, Halle Berry's still fine as hell. The things I would do to... No, I'm kidding. That's like pointing out that the sky is blue. We all know about Halle Berry, but it's really more like you walked out of the movie and you were like, damn, Halle Berry kind of stole the show in that movie. You feel that way in this movie about several different characters. Shamir Anderson plays a very interesting character called Mr. Nobody. I've already mentioned Donnie Yen. Bill Skarsgård is chewing up the scenery as this villain, this member of the High Table that's after John. Scott Adkins looked like one of those characters that was having the most fun of anybody in this movie. I'm not gonna spoil anything about Scott Adkins and that role in particular, but it was a lot of fun to watch that entire sequence play out. The characters in this movie are given gravitas and poignancy. So many sequences that are gonna be seared into my cerebellum for the rest of my fucking life. Guess you could argue that the pacing drags in the middle of it a little bit. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really have a lot of issues with this movie. I could make up some shit if it would make you guys feel better, but I just don't have a lot of problems with it. Like, the movie's really long for sure, and that's the thing that people are gonna talk about the most. I feel like the runtime needed to be this long. It needed time for all these characters to breathe and have their moments to shine and to develop, and it needed more time to develop the world building. I love how we're 4 movies in and we're still learning about this world. We're still learning new things, new rules. Like, all of that is really fascinating. And yeah, I guess you could have brought Halle Berry back. Like, I would have liked to have seen Halle Berry's character from the last movie back in this movie, but that's not an issue with the movie. That's just a fan thing. There is one thing I want to spoil or ask you guys. It's about the idea that John dies at the end of this movie. So if you've seen the movie, you know that John has that duel with Donnie Yen's character, and he's able to manipulate it in a way where he's able to free himself and Donnie Yen's character from the debt that they owe to the High Table. Sitting there, and he's been shot 3 times, and he kind of lays over on his side. There's a flash of him and his wife, and we're left to assume that he died. You see Winston and you see the King of the Bowery like at his grave, and they're like talking about whether he's in heaven or hell, and it's a very ambiguous thing, right? What do you guys think? Do you guys think John died, or do you think that maybe they just like faked his death or something and he's still out there somewhere? But honestly, I actually prefer that they leave John dead. I think that would add more poignancy and more emotion, more stakes to the story. I mean, there's only so many high-level stunts and high-level action feats you can pull off before it's like, where else can you go from here, right? Would you want to see him come back, or would you prefer that he stays dead in this movie? John Wick Chapter 4 was everything that I hoped and imagined it would be. I loved every single minute of it. It was an incredible all-time action masterpiece. It is my favorite movie so far this year, and I'm absolutely giving it my highest rating of Superman Prime. What are your favorite moments of the John Wick franchise? Put those in the comment section down below. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.